hello, everybody on this stream. Twisted Wonderland is coming in full force today. Fasher, you said we're only on chapter 2?
We just finished chapter 2.
So now we're on chapter 3?
Yes.
Prove it.
Beep ba ba da da boo. I'm opening up Twisted Wonderland.
Nice.
It takes 10 years to open up, though, so.
Why can't I hear it?
Kaki! エース君の場所を知らないか？さっきのいたずらのお礼をしようと思ってね。
Isn't this song pretty lit?
Mm-hmm. So, that old guy, can you summarize what happened last?
They went into the building and were using weak slingshots to try to destroy it, and then
Oh yeah.
someone picked up a brick to throw it through the stained glass window.
今日は何を学べるだろう。
Stacy, welcome in. Stacy Joanne is on a 10 stream. That is so epic. Thank you. I appreciate you tuning in so many times.
Yay!
Nice one, Stacy. Hello, that old guy.
Having fun? Playful Land, Gentle Plaza.
Thought I could catch you off guard. Not this time, Stacy. I'm too wise. Greetings, pack guests. We have a very special announcement to make. Our incredible show will begin shortly at the Playful Stage. We hope to see you all there. Trust me, it will be a performance you'll remember for the rest of your life.
It's coming up on time for the show already. You better get to the stage, you. I can't believe I'm this close to becoming a huge star. It's gonna be great.
I can't believe I'm this close to becoming a huge star. It's gonna be great.
Nice, that old guy.
Where are they at?
The Playful Land, Playful Stage. Whoa, look at the size of the audience.
This show's the main attraction, all right.
There's Ace Traveler and all the others. I see Grim and you as well. Looks like they beat us here.
Hey, everybody. Having fun?
Yep. Judging by your smile, you're having a very good time yourself. Alim Alice.
For sure. Whoever we went was so cool. It was super intense when Jack and Leona arm wrestled. They were a total impasse, right?
Sorry, already forgot. Don't just stand there congregating at the entrance. Take a seat. You're obstructing the flow of the crowd.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Tell me.
I'll sit next to you. Come join us, Ortho. I want to hear all about the places you visited in the park.
Sure, thanks. Where to even start?
Aru says,
Aru.
"Hey, ya playing games, so I'll be lurking. Hope stream goes well. Thank you, Mr. Aru, and enjoy your gaming." I'm eating an apple right now.
Oh, there's something new. Mind if I listen in? I haven't been to any of the stuff around here yet. I want some deets.
Shocker, says
Right.
JC. I know, right?
By all means, I want to hear what you did too.
Okay, then I'll take the seat on the other side of you.
I just took a big bite of apple.
Hey, that's my seat.
Do it, that old guy.
Hey, that's my seat.
Hey, that's my seat.
Hey, that's my seat.
Dude, shut up. If you yell that loud in the theater, Bill's gonna smack you. Just sit in Yu's lap.
Oh, I got closer.
So hot. Hang in there, buddy.
I know. I'm trying.
I wasn't talking to you.
To be continued.
Give it a go. Playful Land, Playful Stage. So, did you have a favorite attraction? Or anything you want to wreck?
Why is he trying to be like hip with saying wreck?
Everything was really neat. But I think the most entertaining thing we did together was probably playing pool. Pool? Dang, that's a game you usually only see adults playing. I never played it myself.
We got a pool table back home, so I've played a few times. It's pretty fun, huh?
For sure. The best part was watching Phil, Floyd, and Grim stomping their feet when they lost. Geez, you're a real character sometime.
There's no change in the voice.
And Grim, I could see, but you actually beat Floyd and Phil at something?
Think of him like, what the? Nemi. Like Acer.
I didn't lose. I just let him win.
I just let him win.
Oh, is that a fact? Should we have a rematch and wipe the floor with him again? If Ace and Kaleem are down, I'd enjoy teaming up against them. Bring it on. Wow, you sound into it. Are you big into games based on physical prowess, Hugh? They had more pool at the game area. There was also bowling and ping pong. Should we invite Phil, Floyd, and Jade to play more games later? I went in on that.
Why did you move on? I went in on that.
Of course, I'd include you, Grim. We can invite anyone who seems like they'd enjoy it.
Gaming against you two? That sounds nice. When everyone's playing together, it's fun whether you win or lose. Oh yeah, the seafloor stroll was great too. Did you guys get around to it?
Not yet, no.
You gotta see it. It's like stepping into a page right out of Wish Upon a Star. The fish that swam by were really cute. It was like they'd befriended us, right, you?
It made me hungry to watch.
You sound like Grim. Are you a fan of seafood, you? I'd be happy to throw you a party with plenty of it sometime.
Stacy's a fan of seafood. What? A fish party?
Yeah, we can call it a theme park wrap party. It'll be a nice way to celebrate.
I know, Stace. No. Crying.
I'll invite Leona and Jack too. You can eat to your heart's content and dance and sing the night away. It'll be so fun. What have you enjoyed the most so far, Ace?
There's been a lot, but I gotta go with a roller coaster. Everybody should give it a go. The track is amazingly well crafted, and the ride is so thrilling. Not to mention, there's a special souvenir at the end.
A special souvenir? You mean like something to commemorate the ride?
You'll have to find that out right yourself, right, you? The looks on Trey and Lila's faces was priceless, huh?
Lila?
Hell yeah. Oh, and all the food carts there were great. You should definitely try the stuff they have.
Oh, interesting. What kind of food was it?
Really good chicken. Yep. You know what? That chicken was great. Say, remember how Cater pulled him? Hold on. Eye stinging. Can't read.
No, that old guy.
Okay, sorry. Remember how Cater pulled out those bits of meat from the middle and shared them with us? He called them chicken oysters. Trey taught him about those. I'm not a big raw oyster guy, but chicken oysters, those are fantastic.
Personally, I'm happy eating any and every part of a chicken.
Yeah, no kidding. It freaked me out when you crunched down on the whole thing, bones and all. I mean, zoinks! Seriously, you. What is Grimm's jaw made of?
To be continued. We're gonna find out what his jaw is made of. The playful
stage.
Let's do the other dialogue options.
Give it a go! True. True. Extrapolate skill. Oh my goodness. Why can't I speak today? Extrapolate skilled individual would like to pick up the game's ins and outs extremely quickly. Meanwhile, I seen
Why you sound all
him play it at
muffled?
home. I don't know. Oh wait, no why. So his experience might give him an edge. But you've got me on your team, you. You make sure victory will be yours. What?
BRB, so if you roast me, I won't hear you. Sounds good,
It
Stacy.
warmed my heart to watch.
That old guy, you interrupted me.
Sorry.
It's okay. Let's all
Alright,
roast
did-
Stacy now that she's gone.
Did we see either of these two last time?
What do you mean?
These options. I'm going through the other options.
Yeah, we chose It Made Me Hungry. I was like,
Oh,
you sound
yeah.
like Grim.
Totally. It was so vibrant, it reminded me of the aquarium my family runs. Though ours has dolphins and orcas, so it's a lot different from the one here. I'll send you some pictures of it sometime. Oh, or maybe you could just visit with me. I know you'd enjoy it, you.
Yeah, that cherry pie was a slice of paradise. If Trey makes a similar one once we get back, I'll invite you over to have some. And Deuce too, though he doesn't need an invite since Artsabule's his dorm and all. We can chat on together. Oh.
Game mode on.
Really?
What's it called?
Game mode.
Try again.
The Playful Stage. Playful Stage, Playful Stage.
Not quite, but close enough.
Hmm. The
This is
crowds
you.
are only getting denser. This is a big place, but just about every seat's occupied. Say, there are a lot of visitors, but I note a distinct lack of Royal Sword Academy students. Since Playful Land is currently locked on Sage's Island, you'd think there'd be some people from that school here too. Do they not know Playful Land is in town? Even if they did, maybe they're not the
What?
Even if they did, maybe they're not the types that would skip school to go to a theme park. All the guys we played in our basketball club match seem pretty serious.
Those poor schmucks don't even know what they're missing.
Ah, Ernesto's stepping up on stage.
Thank you all for coming. What you see before you is the Playful Stage. This grand stage, named after the park itself, draws conceptually from the tale of Wish Upon a Star. It was built as homage to the stage that the wooden puppet himself performed on. As you clever individuals all know, the friendly fox and the wooden puppet got the wooden puppet a chance to perform for an audience. He sang and danced with ease, without a single marionette string involved. And oh, how astounded the audience was! He was a smash hit that rose to instant stardom amid a shower of adoring applause. And so, what you are about to witness is a wonder of the world, something truly unique. A wondrous stage where you'll find yourselves spontaneously bursting into song and dance. Come, everyone, raise your hands. Let's all enjoy ourselves to our heart's content, free of any fetters. And, as a matter of fact, we have some very special guests here with us in Playful Land today. Do you know who they are, Gino? That's right! Behold, a group of young scholars from that most prestigious arcane academy, the one and only Night Ribbon College!
Why is he calling us out?
Come, my brilliant scholars, ascend to the stage!
Oh, looks like he's inviting all of us up. Okay, let's go together.
That spotlight's all mine!
Whoa, Grim, Colleen, are you kidding? Leona King Scholar is glaring like he's ready to snap at us.
If it's easier, you can go slightly below that so you aren't straining your voice so it isn't as hard. Because, you know, like for some voice, like if I had to do a deep voice, like I could go like that. But if I just go like just below so it isn't as uncomfortable, so like, hi, this is deep, but not as deep as the other one. It's right on the edge. That makes sense.
Yes.
So maybe I guess in your case, like,
Leona King Scholar is glaring
Boy.
like he's ready to snap at us.
Ha ha ha! Kids these days can be so shy. Come on, no need to be embarrassed. The audience is eagerly awaiting the birth of future stars.
Okay. I'd really like to I'd really have to be bad at reading a room to refuse now. Okay, fine. Have to go away.
The spirit? You just gotta have fun and make the most of stuff like this.
That's true. Come on, you. Let's join them.
Thanks for the stretching time, Stick Amethyst.
I'm a pretty decent singer.
Listen to that thunderous applause! And all you've done is rise from your seats. Isn't it incredible? Lights, music, applause, fame, they're all yours for the taking. Don't let the others outshine you. Party down and come on up! You there! You too! And you as well! Let's enjoy this to our heart's content. Now, it's showtime! Dance your way to
stardom.
Hey. The song. Two, three.
Yeah. Yay.
Aren't they excellent?
Very excellent and rhythmic. The makings of stars. Playful Land, Playful Stage. Hey,
Look at
No.
everyone.
there's so many of those characters.
That show was the coolest. Everybody was riveted to their seat by my performance. Nah, nah, nah.
It disappeared by itself like that. Like, I didn't just. Okay.
Haha, you must really love that song. That show's over and we're off the stage and you still can't stop singing it.
I totally get why. It's a catchy tune that sticks in your head. I could sing it forever too.
Hello again, Night Raven College scholars.
Ah, Ernesto and Gino, you were excellent MCs. Thank you for giving us a chance to join that wonderful show. I had a ton of fun.
No, thank you. It went fantastically with all of your contributions.
Throwlin redeemed hydrate time.
Welcome in, Throwlin. Thanks for the redeem. How you doing?
I got my water bottle.
Nice.
Ah, I dropped the lid. Okay.
Now, what are you gonna do?
Did you already read this line?
Yes.
Yep.
I've been running this show for a long time, but I've never seen the audience come alive as much as they did this time. You've all got the makings of stars.
That's you.
Honestly, I was feeling kind of embarrassed before going up on stage.
Back to the grind with the stream in the background.
Hey.
Good luck with the grind.
Appreciate you leaving the stream on, Throwlin. Game on.
Yeah.
But once I was up there, I forgot all about it, just like you said.
Yeah, totes. You really partied it up, huh?
Totes.
I'm still basking in the vibes.
I admit it, I was kind of surprised to see you guys get so into it.
No kidding. Phil and Leona were so uptight when we first got to the park, but even they were singing and dancing.
Ha ha ha! Yes, well, that's the magic at work.
Wait, magic? I don't like the sound of that one bit. What does that mean? Heh. Were you using magic to manipulate our minds? Or our bodies on the sly?
What? That would be some powerful magic, and I detected nothing of the sort.
No. You've just been enchanted by the thrill of performing on stage.
Everyone doesn't look thrilled.
You're quite a funny person, Ernesto.
Your mouth is laughing, but your eyes ain't. And though I was all pumped up to give you what you had coming for using magic on us without permission and everything. What a letdown.
Even if he had used magic. I'm a future great mate. A weakling like him ain't got nothing on me.
I couldn't agree more. Oh, the rumors of how talented Night Raven college students are simply... How talented Night Raven college students are simply don't do you justice. I was in such awe of you all. I must inform the powers that be that some amazing new stars have appeared. I'm sure they'll be overjoyed.
You're making me blush.
Come now, there you go with that modesty again. You are shining on stage.
Well, if you really insist. Guess I could put in a guest star appearance or two at your shows every now and then. Wouldn't it be great if I could dance and sing at Playful Land whenever I got sick of school?
Ooh, you come and go between the school and park? That sounds awesome. Every day would be so much fun.
Interesting. That sounds like an exclusivity contract in the making. I like it. I'll talk to the powers that be. In the meantime, I hope you'll all continue enjoying your time here in Playful Land.
We will. There's still so much we have yet to try. Come on, guys. Let's go play.
Aw.
I want to go to this spot next.
Oh yeah. We should go together. All of us.
A splendid idea. After all, you ought to make the most of the time you have left. Oh, they look sinister there at the end. What's going on?
Daytime. Nighttime.
Oh. Yeah, the lights.
And see if it's any different dialogue option for the.
Oh, stop. You're too kind. I am but a humble 6th magnitude star compared to the way you 1st magnitude stars shine.
It's broken. I guess we can't play it anymore. Oh, it's here.
I've had my fun. Playful Land, Gentle Plaza.
Give me a break.
A Kit Kat break. Woo, what a day.
I can't believe it's this dark out already. We really played from sunup to sunset. The roller coaster you mentioned in the pool hall or the recommended were both super fun.
I was surprised at how fascinating the seafloor stroll was myself. It was fun riding the Ferris wheel with you and you too.
Yeah, that was great. There's something so refreshing about seeing the world from way up there, huh?
After all said and done, I guess even us naysayers ended up having a good time. Hey, you're not wrong. This was one delightful park. I'm embarrassed by my own initial wariness now.
Perhaps I should have taken the others from Diasomnia along as well.
After all.
What?
You said as well.
Oh. After all.
Yeah, you know what? We should totally visit again and invite the guys who didn't come this time.
I think I'm good now. I've had my fun. I'm about ready to head back.
I'm astounded that Playful Land kept you entertained for a whole day straight.
Aw, are we leaving already? I wanted to play some more.
I get it, but we really gotta get back. If I'm not back at my dorm before lights out, no amount of covering from Trey and Gator is gonna save me. If you haven't had enough, we could always come back tomorrow.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. I'm in.
I can't wait for tomorrow. Right? We can just ask Ernesto for more tickets and, say, where is Ernesto anyway? I haven't seen him since the show ended. How about the rest of you? Ditto. Haven't seen him or Gino.
It would be rude to leave without thanking Ernesto for his generous hospitality. Let's all look for him, shall we?
Playful Land Bazaar. There's no sign of Ernesto or Gino.
Did they get tired and leave for the day?
Come on, no way. A manager wouldn't just ditch a park and leave the guests unattended, right?
Actually, speaking of guests, for all the crowds that were here earlier, this place is a ghost town now. Where'd everybody go? It's awfully quiet. Worry about finding Ernesto later. We gotta head for the exit. Now. What's the matter, Leona King Scholar? Your vital signs seem slightly erratic. Got a bad feeling. A bad feeling? That's too subjective for me to properly comprehend, but it is strange that there's no longer any sign of other visitors. It's not even that late yet. Let's head for the entrance. Hey, wait!
Oh. What could Mr. Ortho be wanting them to wait for?
Uh-oh.
He sees some amiibos on sale.
Yes.
Just making sure. Ace will probably say the same response, but just to make sure. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. A neat accessory. Playful Land Bazaar. Hey, wait! What's up, Ortho? That gate we entered through is closed off. With the door shut, you can't see the harbor at all.
Whoa, you're right. There's even a bunch of bulky looking locks.
Locks? But they made no closing announcement that I recall.
All the puppets that were at the ticket windows are gone too.
Guys, my phone's not getting any signal.
Neither is mine, even though it was totally loading Magicam just fine a few minutes ago.
Same with mine. What could possibly explain all of us losing signal at once?
Don't you guys get it? We're trapped in here. And I love it.
Well, that is rather troubling. We can hardly stay here indefinitely.
Certainly not. The boys at Insomnia are bound to grow worried. We can't locate Ernesto or any other employees, and you know what desperate times call for, don't you?
Of course. Desperate measures. Here goes!
Here goes.
Fireworks.
Whoa! They started blasting the gate with magic.
Guys, come on. No need to go that far.
Don't be silly. When you sense danger, you should act immediately. That's the key to survival.
I'm not a fan of brute force myself, but sometimes sacrifices must be made.
As loath as I am to resort to this, it's the only way to ensure we can return to school in a timely manner.
Please, you two are both having a field day, and you know it. Don't come crying to us when the park sends you the repair bill.
I'm getting hungry too. I want to get back to Ramshackle and have my dinner. I'll help you bust open those locks. Hey, henchhuman, grab the door handle. I'll pull on the opposite side.
Sure thing.
Grim, you make certain to hold it firmly in place.
Everyone, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ah!
Phew. That's one lock busted.
Yes, these are quite sturdy. Are they made from some manner of anti-magic material?
Jade, why are you slumping over?
Oh.
What the heck?
Now Lilia's keeling over. What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
going on? My face is all itchy.
I feel strange. Hey, Grim. You? What's wrong? You two, Jade and Lilia, you two look like you're in a lot of pain.
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What's up with your face, Jade? You got some kind of wooden branch thing there stuck to it.
You do too, Lilia.
Oh no.
They've joined the Borg. Look that up later. Graham and you have the same thing. Where'd you get those things, huh? I was worried when you guys all started groaning, but let me guess. You guys just teamed up to give the rest of us a good scare, didn't you?
Oh, so that's what's going on. You had me going for a second. It's a neat accessory. I want to try it on too. Can I borrow yours?
It ain't.
I can't move.
Nor can I. It's like my body isn't even mine.
What?
What? What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, the joke's gone on long enough. I'm taking those ridiculous things off now. Wait. I just ran a scan over them, and that wood isn't simply affixed over their skin. It's deeply rooted in their face.
Oh.
If you try to pull them off, they could wind up seriously hurt. Come again. Seriously hurt.
My. So this is where you young scholars scuttled off to.
Oh, Ernesto, you came at a good time. Could you help us out? You and the others are in serious trouble. They got strange wood growing out of their face, and we apparently can't pull it out.
Oh dear, how terrible! We must diagnose this case at once. Quick, Gino, your notebook! My. Just as I thought. I'm afraid it's too late.
What? What? What?
Don't say that. Please, you have to help them.
Do I? But I thought you all had a most enjoyable time in Playful Land. You skipped school and ignored the warnings of those around you, and only now that you're in trouble are you having second thoughts? It's too late for that, you little twerps! Oh, the reveal.
Is this the last story of Twisted Wonderland? This is where it ends?
How'd you know?
Yes. Okay, who do we want? Do we want Trey or Jack?
Let's go with Trey. 2 trays.
Boom, boom, boom. A very special spell. Playful Land Bazaar.
It's too late for that, you little twerps! Oh, it's about time. You kids were stubborn as cockroaches. I kept nudging and nudging, but the magic just wasn't taking effect. It was nerve-wracking. Who would actually want to spend so long with this band of rotten hooligans? Put yourself in our poor shoes. Sheesh. Sheer agony, wasn't it, Gino?
Huh. You've sure changed your tune from before. Is this the real you?
What's gotten into you? Are you mad at us? You seem like you're having so much fun today.
So you are a charlatan.
What does that word mean?
A fake. Between you and your extravagant set and elaborate productions, I hate to say it, but you had me completely fooled. Does this mean you're to blame for what's happening to you and the others?
It's no use. I keep trying to stand, but I can't even get a paw to twitch. Lousy Ernesto, you think you can do this to me? Who do you think you are?
Oddly, he
How's
looks
the
like he's
Ernest?
standing.
What?
He's standing right there.
Lousy Ernesto. Ha! I wonder how much longer you'll be able to give me that lip.
Huh?
There's a very special spell at work on you and your friends. A truly horrific one, formulated by a group of the most exceptional mages. It slowly erodes your body, gradually turning flesh to wood. Till eventually you become a speechless wooden puppet!
What?
Now then, which one of you shall we bring into our family of puppets next, hmm?
Everyone, retreat! Forget about us. Get to safety.
What are you saying? We can't just leave you.
Without understanding his aims or his methods, you're in no position to contend with him.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, when all of us get woodified in one fell swoop, I might save you later if I feel like it. Just think about what you're going to offer me in return for the services rendered.
Oh dear, that bodes quite ill for after we make it back.
No. Don't leave me like this. Take me with you.
Take me and Grim with you. You, Grim?
Look.
What?
See his face expression?
Oh,
You, Graham?
you, Grim. They're right. We run for it now.
Do you think it'll be that easy? Go forth, loyal Playful Land puppets. Capture those boys! But don't get rough with them. Just play around and have some fun. Ha ha ha! Oh,
They're a little slow.
始めようか。
Okay.
お前は俺の手の内だ。
October! Welcome in. October says, well, well, well. Hello. Following since November 26, 2015. October
Whoa.
has. November 26, 2015. Holy mackerel. Welcome back. Wow. Hello, Uncle Alec. Bro doesn't remember me? I do! I do remember you. You're Uncle Alec, right? I had to double check. This is crazy.
It's a quote. Taylor Swift.
He does remember. Of course. How have you been, Uncle Alec? It is so good to see you. What brings you into my stream today? Today we're voice acting this game called Twisted Wonderland. But how are you doing tonight? And welcome in. Holy mackerel, it's been so long. It's so nice to see you.
Do I know Uncle Alec?
I don't know if you really interacted with him, but
Like that name sounds familiar.
Uncle Alec?
Yeah.
I don't know if you met him ever, but I do.
Oh.
I remember him.
Totally played. Playful Land, Bizarre.
I'm doing good, man. I didn't know you started streaming again. Yeah, I've been streaming pretty consistently lately. I was just browsing on Twitch and saw you live and decided to say what's up. What is up? Thanks for stopping by. It's awesome. And I do plan on streaming pretty regularly from now on. So, yeah, you can definitely expect to see me more. Remember when I slept over and we played Smash and ate penguins all night? Ah, the penguins. Pick up a penguin. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. And we snuck downstairs for chocolate milk. Let's go. Oh, what a night. That sounds awesome. Oh my goodness. That must have been so long ago now. That's so awesome that you remember that. Penguins, the chocolate bar. Hey, Stacy. You heard this? Penguins? The little chocolate guys. They're so good. They're so good. I love those penguins. You guys get them? Yes, we do. We do, precisely. They're so good. They're so good. I totally forgot about that, Uncle Alec. That was such a throwback. Oh my gosh. Crazy to think we graduated almost 10 years ago. Ah, I know.
I do know Uncle Alec then.
Yeah. You can't say that, Alec. That's so crazy. Almost 10 years. It doesn't feel like it. That is very crazy to think. I'm glad that we were still able to remain in touch. Who's that? You mean the voice? That is Fastra, my sister. Care to introduce yourself, Fastra?
I am Fastra. I graduated 1 year before you.
Yep.
In the same school.
Yep. Exactly. Oh yes, I remember her. Let's go.
I just need to assign the face. I just don't. Yeah. Terrible with names.
He looks just like Cater.
Yes.
I think we're finally rid of them.
Jeez Louise. Those puppets just wouldn't let up. We kept shaking them off, and they just kept coming back.
You're faster, I got you. Check your Instagram.
Those were all the puppets that we saw working here, huh?
I can't leave the app.
Okay, I'll disable it. Alright, it's hidden. Just check your Instagram DMs from me.
Ah, yes.
That's,
I do. Yes, I know.
Yeah, that's him.
Wow. So it's like a 10-year like jump scare.
Right. So yeah, that's him. Stranger Things.
Sorry, I got distracted. I wanted to keep watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were all the puppets we saw working here, huh?
A 10-year jump scare indeed, lol. That's crazy. And a jump scare for you even being in the chat. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah, like everybody from high school is just kind of like frozen in time. Like how they looked the last time I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes.
I pretty much look the same though from high school. Like if you imagine how I looked then, I like basically haven't changed.
Right. Oh, Fastra.
Yeah.
Do you like the Quasimodo football picture, Uncle Alec? In the bottom right? That's Fastra. She wants to be represented as Quasimodo football.
Yep.
And just in
That's
case
me.
you weren't sure what it is, it's this.
La, 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 la.
It's great. I love it. I'm glad. I knew you'd like it, Alec.
What's
Did you
happening?
read that ortho line?
Mm-mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they turned aggressive so suddenly.
Ah!
What was that scream?
Please,
I want to go home.
please, please, I don't want to be a
just wanna
puppet.
be a puppet.
No, Bob gets all the visitor lines.
Please, please, I don't want to be a puppet. Capture! Capture! Capture them! Throw them in the crate!
Ah! No!
Not the gumdrop buttons.
It has to
Yeah.
have more of the.
Not the gumdrop buttons!
Yeah, you knew exactly what I meant.
It's other visitors. Their bodies are being covered in wood. They're turning into puppets.
Alec asks, do you guys still play instruments? I have not touched the trumpet since high school, unfortunately. But I do still play the piano, if you remember that. I play it pretty regularly. But I have not. Sadly, the trumpet has been left as a relic of the past. What about you, Fastra?
I play my flute. Just for fun, though. I take it out every now and then.
Yeah. She played it for someone at a convention recently. We went to an anime convention and she bought her flute out and she's like, she got
It
very
sounded
nervous.
just like that, too.
What about you, Alec?
Oh, Stacy, you could just ask me if you wanted embarrassing stories.
You sound just like Stacy. Please tell me the most embarrassing story you have about Bob from high school. Ah! Dang, Stacy trying to get the dirt on me. Alex says, no, I've always thought about picking up a trumpet again, but just haven't. That makes sense. That's fair. Also, remember, Alec, that one time when I had you commentate on my stream and I put like guest commentator or something, and then you were like commentating the matches? I don't think I have that stream anymore, but that was a fun one. Stacy says, I could actually. She sounded Australian, bruh. Oh, Fasha, she says your accent was Australian, not British. Try again.
If you wanted to ask, if you wanted embarrassing,
I can't.
Not on the spot.
wanted embarrassing stories, you could just ask me. I'm from the land down under.
You're doing that on purpose now.
Alex says, oh boy, I block out high school, lol, not my best years. That's fair, Alec. That's fair. I think a lot of people probably block that out. You know I'm not Australian, right? Oh, got owned.
Yeah, I do know.
You're not?
I just can't. I'm very terrible at accents.
Completely understandable. Haha. That sounded Scottish. If you had the chance to change your fate, would you? I was talking to Bob when I said that, Fastra. Oh, to me. The Australian thing? Is that what you meant, Stacey? You know I'm not Australian, right? Oh, because he said you sound just like her, but you sounded us. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So she was asking me, you know I'm not Australian, right? I would never roast you, Fastra.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you, Stacey Joanne.
Stacey Joanne.
Nice. I want a penguin now. Stacey, can you mail me a penguin to my home address? Or a multi-pack of 7 penguins?
Well, perhaps we could make one.
I have an orange one in my cupboard? I don't like the orange ones. Like the fruit orange? What is an orange penguin? And why do you have one in your cupboard, Stacey? Explain yourself.
Maybe she's a really, really big fan of
Orange?
zoo animals that happen to be orange.
She loves eating chocolate animals, chocolate frogs, chocolate penguins, orange flavored chocolate. You can keep that, Stacey. It's okay. Your mom likes them. Gotcha. Well, she's a little bit strange then, because orange flavored chocolate is very weird. You should ask her to get normal penguins.
It's a real thing, though.
Orange flavored chocolate?
Yeah, they have those ones that's like a actual orange shape and size, and it separates into like 16 little wedges, like orange piece wedges, and they're all even have little designs on them like oranges, except it's chocolate and it's orange flavored.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh, Stacy says, okay, fair, yeah, orange chocolate is bad. Ooh, calling them out. So is mint chocolate. I kind of agree on that one. I've never been too big of a fan of those chocolate mints. Those York patties, yonks. So I can agree with you, but do either of you two like mint chocolate?
I'll eat it when it's there, but I don't go out of my way to get it.
Okay. What about you, Dells?
Yes, I like it. I like it.
Oh, so you're like Uncle Alec, who said, whoa, 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 don't diss on mint chocolate. Oh, ooh,
like,
Alec.
It's really a happy day when I move my pillow at the hotel and there's one of those little mint chocolates.
Yes. The Terry's chocolate orange. You mean Terry from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? I didn't know he had a chocolate orange. That old guy knows. He does. Yorks are so good, especially if they're from the fridge. Ooh, Alec. Liking those the chilly taste of a nice York. Okay, that does sound pretty good.
Those patties, so good. My favorite.
Yeah, it's a little weird to me, but I would eat a refrigerated York patty. Stacy said, I'm sorry, I don't like it. Cry. Mods, time out, Stacy Joanne. She is dissing October's mint chocolate.
The only thing is, like, you know, I get thirsty after I have, like, the chocolate. But then, like, whenever I have mint, then it, like, makes the water, like, unpleasantly, like, cold, you know? It's like, it's this weird, like, texture feeling to the water after you have mint.
Yeah.
No. That sounds unusual. Does that mean you have an allergy or something?
No.
Does Fasher remember Curly Whirlies, or did none of you pay attention when you were in England? Fasher, do you remember Curly Whirlies?
No.
Oh, the Curly
Apparently
Whirlies.
that was popular. But maybe they only came around. Maybe they only came out after we left.
Yo, Alex said, I just realized I created my Twitch on November 21st, 2015, so long ago, and followed you November 26th. Maybe you were my first followed stream. That would be such an honor. Yeah, I see the stats here. Our account created November 21st, following since November 26th of 2015. So your 10-year anniversary of your Twitch account's coming up next month. Isn't that crazy? Also, I just realized it's your month right now, October. It is October. In your October.
Ooh.
So there's Christmas Bob and then October. And I'm for December and you're obviously for October. Curly Whirly was released in the 70s. Whoa, dang, Curly Whirly predates even me. That's crazy.
What's Curly Whirly?
It's my birthday month, says Alec. Woo! Happy birthday month. Gonna be 26 soon. Ooh.
Curly Whirly is a kind of chocolate. Think the Cadbury chocolate, but a bar made of it.
That's
Is that
crazy.
accurate, Stacey?
You're gonna be 26 soon. That's crazy.
We're gonna be the same age for 2 months.
Oh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's chocolate coated hard caramel. Mmm.
It's chocolate coated hard caramel.
That's pretty good. I want a Curly Whirly. Stacy, please give me a Curly Whirly. Happy birthday for then! Yes, indeed. I hope you have a great birthday, whenever that may be. You better post something on Instagram or something so I can wish you a happy birthday.
If I happen to be around on your birthday and like Bob is streaming, I will get out my flute and play happy birthday on my flute.
Ooh, you heard that, October? We'll send you one and then post, but it might melt. That's okay, Stacy. I'll take a melted Curly Whirly. When it melts, it turns into a whirly curly. I don't have Instagram anymore. I deleted most of my social media. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, your last post was back in December, so I guess that makes sense. Dang. You just out here living life. I can respect that. I'm on social media quite kind of a lot. So I don't think I could fare well, but how do you do it? Just going around without social media? What do you do? What do you do every day? Oh, that would be so cool. You should definitely stream on the 26th. It's on a Sunday. Hey, I will try my best to stream on the 26th, Mr. October. That's awesome. Raw dogging life, no socials, admirable. Couldn't be me. Exactly. Stacy's chronically online. I have a wife now. No need for social media. Whoa! Congratulations. That's insane.
Nice.
Did that happen back in December? Did you got married? That's crazy, man. Yeah, I can see. That's awesome that you're able to go on without social media. It's really admirable. No, actually, last month. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Congratulations.
Yes. That's crazy, Mr. Alec. Oh my goodness. Congratulations again. That is wonderful to hear. Alright, Ortho.
It's other visitors. Their bodies are being covered in wood. They're turning into puppets.
You gotta send me a link or a picture of the wedding, Alec.
That would explain how oddly empty the park seemed to be.
Looks like they've already turned everyone other than us into puppets and hauled them off.
Oh no! Hold on! I'll save you!
Whoa, slow down. Are you just going to jump out in front of those things? You saw what happened to Lily and Jade. Them, of all people.
October says, we just went to the courthouse and got legally married. We haven't had our big wedding yet. Ah, I see. Well, congratulations on getting legally married, and hope your wedding goes very well whenever that is. Do you know where it's gonna be yet?
Who knows what those things are capable of? Rushing in without a plan, just asking for it. Agreed. We were hard pressed to escape this far.
But I can't just stand here and watch.
Yeah, but not much we can do either, especially without phone signal.
If only we could contact the school. Getting caught cutting class is definitely the least of our concerns now.
October says, thank you very much. Of course. We're not sure, haha. Trying to accommodate families since they're all over the place. Oh, gotcha. Where are you living right now? I am up in Kansas. But what about you? You too, I should say. But yeah, that sounds tough, but I believe in y'all. You'll be able to find a good place that works for most people, hopefully.
You read this already?
No.
Nope. Okay. I can try hacking into the park's network.
Whoa.
Huh? I failed to get in. Me? This is weird. I keep getting errors every time I try to connect.
October says, I'm stationed in San Diego, unfortunately. Not too big a fan of California. Why is that? Why are you not a big fan? But that's
Sounds
pretty
like he's
far.
military.
Yeah, you're stationed there? I gotcha. So are you two living together? If you don't mind me asking, in San Diego?
Ortho?
Which makes me suspect there's a powerful jammer set up somewhere in this park.
Oh, geez. That means we can't get through to anyone else on the outside.
Guess they've covered their bases to ensure no inconvenient intel makes it out of here.
Alex says, yeah, I'm in the Navy. Wow. Yes, we live together. It's just super expensive and really overcrowded. But the city is really pretty. Gotcha. I'm glad at least it's pretty. But congrats on living together. I know that's a pretty big deal. And I didn't know you were in the Navy, but that is pretty cool. What do you do in the Navy?
So, I got some other bad news on top of the whole communication thing. There are seabirds flying around earlier today, but now there aren't any. I think the park's on the move. Huh? Huh? Huh?
I'm an IT, information systems technician, so I manage the network and communications. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. That's kind of what relating to my degree, because it was in communications, so maybe you can help me get a job. I'm trying to find one in my field, but I'm having trouble and I'm getting rejected. But congrats on getting that job. Seems pretty cool. And important.
I'll go take a look over the wall with Leona. You boys wait here and stay hidden.
Whoa.
Bad news, all right. Floyd called it. Playful Land's present location is in the middle of the ocean. The middle of the ocean? Yes, we couldn't see any sign of land. The park may have even departed Sage's Island from the instant we set foot through the gate. Seriously, we've been totally played. By the time the visitors realize something's wrong, they've been cut off from the outside. The park's long gone, and the only thing the rest of the world sees is the fun pictures and posts about it.
October sets communications in relations to what? It was called, the degree was called communication with a digital concentration. So it seems like it's kind of similar to what you do. So, like, what are some of the things that you do at your job? Because I'm trying to get one like that, I think, but I'm having trouble finding one. Yeah, let me know.
No wonder people call this place illusionary.
Ah, Stick Amethyst says perhaps join the Navy.
Considering how slick this whole setup is, whoever's the mastermind behind it must be an old hand at this. What do we do now?
To be continued. We do communications such as setting up circuits so our ship can talk to other ships or through satellites. Oh, nice. How did you learn how to do that? That's awesome. That's cool, Alec.
Sure, Jack.
Mr. Jack.
The optimal choice.
The Navy taught me. Nice. That makes sense.
Playful Land Bazaar. That's a nice thing about the military is that you can go from having absolutely no experience in whatever field it is.
Yeah.
And they will start you from scratch.
Ooh, I see. That's pretty nice.
And of course, if you already know it, then they'll just build on that.
Yeah.
Or help you fine tune it to, whatever you need to fine tune it for.
Mm-hmm.
May we have your attention, please? This is a lost child announcement.
That voice. Ernesto? It's coming from the PA. He must be broadcasting it across the whole park.
Alright, Mr. Bob. It's getting late and I'm pooped. That's totally fair. Gonna hit the hay, but it was so nice to catch up. If I see you're streaming, I'll continue to stop by. Thank you, man. It was nice to catch up, and I appreciate you wanting to come in again. I do stream pretty regularly, so hopefully you'll be able to swing by and say hi every now and then. That's awesome. It was awesome to see you, and you have a good night as well. Oh.
Paging the Simpleton students from Night Raven College. Attention, Simpleton students. Your friends are waiting for you. Oh, I'm so lonely. Oh, I'm so scared. They're crying ever so pitifully as they wait for you to come and get them. I can assure you, it's quite obnoxious to listen to, so come get them soon!
I ain't crying, but you better rescue me ASAP anyway.
Shut up! Parents don't talk! Gino, time up. Anyway, you precious little darlings have nowhere to run or hide as long as you're our guests in Playful Land. You can make this a lot easier on yourselves by giving up the whole pointless show of resistance and turning yourselves in quietly. This has been a public service announcement courtesy of the friendly Ernesto Falworth. I hope you continue to enjoy your time in Playful Land.
That may have been my favorite part.
Konoyara.
Konoyara!
He's going out of his way to get under our skin.
Was that entire speech just his way of taunting us? That nerve. I wish I could put the squeeze on both what?
Both of.
Put the squeeze on both those guys right about now.
He's just speaking and slurring his words a little bit.
And I wish I could try them with my beam.
Try? That's a lot different.
Right?
Yes.
But I don't get it. Why does Ernesto want to turn us into puppets?
Who knows? Thinking in circles and cowering isn't going to help us any. Right now, we've got one job, right?
Yeah, you're totally right. Let's go see Ernesto and talk him out of this.
Not that. If we tried, he'd just capture us and gloat about what stupid twerps we were. And so on and so forth. What I meant was, we find Ernesto and give him a total royal beatdown.
What? Take down, down. Huntrix girl!
Yeah, we beat him up until he swears to take us back to Sage's Island. I had a feeling that was your angle. Are you sure, though? We could theoretically use flight magic to flee.
Huntrix girls to the world, Stacy!
Yes! Stacy, you get me! Let's go!
Huntrix girls to the world. Hey!
It's a takedown!
Da, 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 like a lullaby. Hear the
That's a
sound
different
in
song.
your mind. Dun, dun, dun. Hey! So sweet, so easy, on, the
eyes. But hideous on the inside. Whole lies, living lies. It's high, maybe nice try.
Yeah. Gino is Fastra's husband. What about you, Stacy?
Stacy's not Fastra's husband.
No,
What?
Gino is.
Sound like you said Stacy's not Patrick Bateman.
That's what I said.
Well, yeah, she's not. I liked Baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Good choice, Stace. For me, I would say Jean is the most husband, but I can definitely understand liking Baby.
Baby Saja was in my dream.
Goo goo gaga.
I like that. What kind of dream?
It was like, I think it's specifically a baby cosplayer. And then I was all like nervous and like and then yeah, that's it. There's no story. It was just me being all nervous around the baby cosplayer.
I see. Also, Zoe is my queen. Yeah, I like her a lot. She's probably my favorite. Basher, what do you like about Zoe?
She's very nice and happy.
Can you do that little impression of her sound? It cut you off. Can you try again? There we go. That was better. You have good taste, Stace.
I think we have pretty similar taste.
Hey.
What's a Zoe quote?
I know, EXO. Me and Fastra need to be besties.
Yes.
Fastra, you got a friend request. But one through Twitch.
Woo!
A quote from her is when she said, like, actually, I have 57 ideas, but let's start with the first one or something. Like to fix her voice.
Actually, 57, but let's start with my favorite.
Nice.
Like, only one, only two.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Did you already say this line?
Nope. From a group safety standpoint, it might be prudent to explore options for escaping. Ernesto's an extremely thorough con artist. I suspect he's already got some planned if we attempt to escape by air. It's possible he got traps of some sort rigged up overhead. Colleen, could I borrow that popcorn bucket you're carrying?
Oh, this? Sure.
Up.
Oh.
Ow.
Dang.
When Ortho threw the bucket into the air, some kind of spell flew out of nowhere and blew it to smithereens.
Dang.
See, I knew it. If you think about it, a ship this large, going unseen for extended periods of time, makes no logistical sense. There could potentially be some special brand of cognitive interference magic at play. Which means, once we're away from the ship, it would be exceedingly difficult to find our way back to the park. And then we might never see you, Grim, Lilia, or Jade again. But more to the point, that guy openly trashed us. Why would we run away without challenging him to a fight? That would be like admitting defeat to him. I would never do that. Yeah, huh? I ain't about to turn tail and run from a small fry like foxfish. Hey, you have a point. We should make him rue the day he chose to tango with us. The last I need is for some nonsense magic to turn me into a wooden doll. But considering he's holding the others hostage, it doesn't seem like he can turn people into puppets at will. Let's be nice and cautious here, then nail that fox. That's probably the best play.
Yes, sir. He's got some payback coming. Ooh, boy.
Oh boy.
Sounds like you're all committed to this. Guess we better buckle down.
Good grief. No kidding. If you're all aware of the danger and willing to do this anyway, I won't stop you. I admit, I'm not exactly a fan of backing down without a fight either.
So, we're gonna give Ernesto a royal beatdown, huh? I still don't get it, but that's the best way to rescue you and the others, right?
Yeah, if we want to make sure everyone gets out safe and sound, this is the optimal choice.
Safe and sound, huh? Okay, I'm in. I'll do my part too. Who knows? Maybe Ernesto will see the error of his ways before things come to a head.
If only. That would be the best outcome by far. Easily, for real.
All right, for starters, guess we'd better go find that jerk. Yeah, all the other visitors were loaded into a large wooden crate near the gate. And considering we heard Grim over the PA, he and the others must be in the same place as Ernesto.
Sounds like we got a goal. Oh,
Children located! Bring them to Ernesto!
the puppets again.
Oh, for the love of... Way to ruin our momentum.
I'm sick and tired of you guys.
I can't do that. Can you please replicate the sound they do in the game?
Jack does.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Hey, skip back. We'll take them out.
Why does Trey sound so light?
He was just doing a standard voice for everybody.
I don't do standard for everybody.
They all kind of have the light sound now.
あるね。授業開始です。英語
Juno,開始です。
よそ見しない。
話にならない。
何しづらい。
I believe there's 2 more chapters in this book.
Okay. How is it already 1?
Next time we
I
start
think we should
earlier,
finish tomorrow.
there 2 more
Finish this
chapters.
chapter tomorrow.
There's only 2 more chapters of the book.
It'll take us to 1:30.
No.
Square in the Fields. Playful Land Bazaar.
Stick Amethyst says to start earlier tomorrow. Yeah, we can do that.
Got it. Those puppets don't stand a chance against your magic.
Not gonna be doing much attacking now. They're blown to bits, huh?
Stacey said, yeah. Yeah, it was so late for you.
Jack? Oh no. Is that what I think it...
Oh.
Can't move.
The others weren't hitting. My body doesn't feel like mine.
Ace? Art, Jack? Trey?
They started turning into puppets.
Attacking park employees is an egregious violation of park rules. It's puppet dump for all bad children committing misdeeds in Playful Land.
Bad children?
Blast. I'll at least stall him before I go full puppet. Ugh.
We can't move. All of you, get out of here quick.
No way. We can't just abandon you guys.
You wouldn't be. Look, getting to Ernesto's the ultimate goal, right? The two of us are gonna reach them first, is all. We'll be waiting for you. Trey, we'll come back for you, okay? Count on it.
No fair, Trey. You're not allowed to act all brave and tough and cool. It's hitting me square in the feels.
Cut it out. You're embarrassing me.
Ugh. Can't believe I didn't make it any further than this. Sorry, Leona. Guess I'll be heading to Ernesto ahead of the rest of you. I'll come up with a way to sock him one.
Hey, don't do anything stupid. You don't want small-time guys like that could pull when they... You don't know what small-time guys like that could pull when they snap. Just sit tight and be patient. No way you can mess that up, right?
Don't patronize me. As for the rest of you guys, be careful.
Oh.
And here we are, house wardens, walking away from students in trouble. I'm frustrated too, but that'll have to wait. First things first, we gotta scram before the alert brings in more puppets.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Pursuing forces are thinner in this area. Let's hide and wait it out. What's wrong, sea lion? You're all quiet and broody looking over there.
This is how I always look. But I was just thinking about why people are turning into puppets now.
That's been bugging me too. At first I thought it was just that it took a while for Playful Land's magic to kick in. In other words, that we had to spend a whole day at the park. Except none of us have been here longer than the others. Then the timing of it happening to Jack and Trey was just too convenient.
True. The magic took them both simultaneously, the moment they fought the puppets.
The puppets? What was it they said? The puppetdom for all bad children committing misdeeds, right? I thought that was just meant to be threatening, but what if... What if you actually turn into a puppet when you do bad things here?
If that's it, then all we have to do is avoid doing any misdeeds.
That makes sense. Maybe we can get out of this easier than we thought.
Roland said, gotta leave the stream early tonight because something just happened, and I can't really disclose about it in stream. That's totally fine. Y'all have a great rest of the night / stream. Thank you, Roland. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have you. You have a good night as well.
Thank you for coming, and I hope whatever's going on will be okay.
Yeah. Hope everything goes okay.
Thank you for coming. Wait, what did you just say before I leave?
Yeah, huh? That's a relief. By the way, counts as a misdeed, exactly.
Bum, 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 bum.
What's it called?
It's called 11. Wow, it must like Stranger Things. How irksome. Playful Land, Playful Stage.
Hello. Yes, it is I, your loyal subordinate, Ernesto Foulworth. I have good news for you. I've captured the Night Raven College students I was telling you about. What? No, not all of them. But I'll have that ironed out shortly. What? You'll cut my pay if I don't deliver the goods by the deadline? Come on, sir, you can't do me like that. Understood. I'll have this wrapped up by tomorrow, as promised. Yes, of course. You can count on me. I trust you'll bump my pay accordingly. He hung up. Ugh, rich folks. Always so impatient and demanding. How are things on your end, huh? Ah, this is gold! A bunch of preppies from a fancy school, locked in a ratty old cage? Nice work, Gino.
How dare you stuff me into this tiny little box? Let me out of here!
Now, take it easy. It's just a matter of time until the others get here. I promise, I'll move you into a much bigger cage soon enough. Ha ha ha!
I wouldn't count on that. Our companions are all exceptional mages. Capturing them might be trickier than you think.
Oh, spare me. Remind me again how you got stuck in there, Playful Land has a great deal of spells at play, courtesy of a multitude of mages. We've got security and anti-crime measures thoroughly covered. We don't miss a single guest that does anything harmful to our park facilities or staff. When time isn't an issue, I don't even have to bother giving our guests a little nudge in the wrong direction. I can just sit back and wait. Because this park turns all bad children who lose their conscience and commit misdeeds into puppets, no matter what.
Losing your conscience is what gets you turned into a puppet?
Conscience, you say? If that's what matters, then clearly we're doomed.
Oh.
We may very well be doomed.
It's over. We're doomed, I tell ya!
We're done for. We're done for.
Jeez Louise, have a little faith in your friends at the very least. Sheesh, these gods are so bad I couldn't help saying something. Still, the magic's working way slower on them than other troublemakers. Is it 'cause they're fancy mage school kids? Ernesto.
Ernesto,
Sorry,
Gino.
I saw myself in the center.
May I ask why you're doing this? I somehow doubt it's because you've sworn loyalty to whomever it was you were speaking with over on the phone.
It's the money. Sturdy, obedient puppets can be put to any number of uses. And puppets that can use magic? You guys are hot commodities. You'll fetch a real tidy sum.
All this Just for money?
Just for money? What do you know? You're a fancy schmancy scholar going to an upper crust school. Money makes the world go round. Don't you talk down to me when you don't have the first clue about what it takes to make it! Got it? But hey, relax, you. I'll make sure you and Grim are a package deal. Once you fully turn into puppets, I think I'll dub you the Beast Tamer and the Brutish Beast.
Who you calling brutish? Ah, I'm sick of this! Oh, I'm sick and tired of this! I want to go back to school!
Oh, really? I thought you said you hated school. Didn't you guys want to be stars? Don't worry. I'll grant that wish. By making you such ultra-famous puppets that you'll never have to go to school again!
Good. I still have some magic left, but I just can't muster any of it. If only I could fight, I'd make short work of that Ernesto. How irksome.
Floyd, everyone, I do hope you're safe.
Story cleared. Mr. Arlulia. Hey. He said it would take us till 1:30. Oh. Huh.
Same thing, right?
Yeah. Oh. Here I thought you were just another doe-eyed student, but it sounds like you actually know the score. It's like you said. Money is important. It's what makes the world go round. The money we get from handing you over is gonna put food on our table. You ought to thank him while you can, Gino. You know, for filling our bellies. Alright, so we got book 3 or book 4 tomorrow and then book 5 the next day.
Yep.
That sounds good to me.
Those will be a bit longer, I believe.
Okay, so we'll try to start earlier.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Playful Land.
So 16 chapters for book 4. 16 and 18.
Okay, yeah. So kind of a lot.
Okay, here's the last one.
Good.
Hey, look at Mr. Lils. Epic.
So what do you think's gonna happen now that they're turning into puppets?
They're going to stage a puppet coup.
Yo. I feel like more and more of them are gonna get turned into puppets until there's just a few left.
So it's different because instead of turning into donkeys, they're turning into puppets, but
Yeah.
same concept, I guess.
I think Stacy would rather have them turn into puppets than donkeys. Alrighty, y'all. That was some fun stories. It went till kind of late, but hopefully, Fastro, you'll still be able to get a good sleep. See, Stacy said honestly. I knew it. I knew it, Stace.
You can raid into Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame.
She's on Twitch?
Yeah.
No way. I wonder
Will
if
they even let you?
it depends on if she has it on. Let's see. I don't know if I'm following her. I didn't know she had a Twitch. What's her Twitch name?
I don't know. I'm not following her. It's just showing up in the live channels.
Oh,
It just so happens.
I'm gonna follow her first. I'm getting an ad. It's a pretty cool ad, though.
Your Discord.
Oh! Alright, following Elizabeth. Let's see if I can raid.
Good night, Stacy. Thank you for hanging out.
It looks like it'll let me raid Elizabeth.
Go.
I don't want to be here when they decide to finally come back. I'm going to lose tooth.
I see the procrastinating.
So many people said welcome raiders.
Yeah, we've seen this person before and stuff, but well, not in real person, not in real life.
What did you say?
I was responding to Mom.
Oh.
You're still streaming on Christmas, Bob.
Yeah, we can still hear the mic, so be conscious of that. I guess it wasn't, she can't respond because she's doing the RP stuff, so I wonder if she would have read it otherwise, though. That's too bad. Well, thank y'all for watching. Thanks for doing some fun stories. And if you ever find your crew slowly getting turned into puppets, well, then you take care out there.
you.